Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello, my students. You are welcome again to biology lesson. As usual, you are with Charlotte. This is senior 5 class. So we are still on unit 15, which is immunosystem, vaccination, and antibiotics. The lesson of today is about the mode of action of phagocytes and the components of acquired immunosystem. This is the lesson of today. We are going to deal with this. The mode of action of phagocytes and the components of acquired immunosystem. And then what is the objective of our lesson? At the end of this lesson, you should be able, number one, to describe the mode of action of phagocytes. Number two, you will be able to compare the components of acquired immunosystem. So the components of acquired immunosystem, you will be able to compare them. Are we together? So now, I hope you are ready. You have your notebook where you can write some explanation about the topic of today. So you're welcome again. So when we talk about phagocytes, what's that? The phagocytes, those are kind of white blood cells. This includes neutrophil and macrophage. Macrophage, when you talk about macrophage, those are large white blood cells. Like, remember, when we talk about these white blood cells, white blood cells. So we do have what you call neutrophils. Number two, we do have what you call basophils. Number three, we have what you call eosinophils. Number five, we do have what you call, number four, we do have what you call monocytes. Then number five, we do have what you call lymphocytes. Those are the kind of white blood cells that they do protect our body. They do fight against the pathogens, against the diseases, against the infection in our body. So when we talk about this, we do have this neutrophil. First of all, when we have the germs, when we get germs, first of all, these neutrophils, they come and attack. They do attack what? The germs. When we talk about germs and pathogens, it is like, let's say, like a virus, like bacteria, like fungi, that can cause what? The disease. Those are what we are talking about. Are we together? So now, this neutrophil, when it comes and then attack that germs, it has to be supported. Actually, it has to be supported by what you call this one. It is called macrophage. Actually, this consists of the large white blood cells that are stronger than what the neutrophil. So this one, they will come to help this neutrophil. And what these macrophages do? They do come and kill and remove what? And remove those pathogens, those germs from the body. Are you together? So now, when we talk about this mode of action, we're going to see how they are working in a brief. Phagocytes, which include both neutrophil and macrophage, play an important role in innate immunity. They can identify the foreign invading pathogens and then discriminate them from the cells of the body, and then internalize them by throwing pseudopodia around them. So this is what I have talked about, my friends. So our body is protected. So we do have immunity. That's why when there is invading germs, invading pathogens from outside, that enter into our body. So those phagocytes, including neutrophil and what? And this macrophage, they come and then do what? Discriminate and kill. Not only that, even moving it from our body to the outside. You see? That's how the body is going to be protected. So this is what you call phagocytes. They are white blood cells. Those are the soldiers. We can even call the soldiers of the body. Yeah? We have the soldiers. That's why we are healthy. Sometimes when you get disease, as I have told to you, so the problem is that they have fight those white blood cells. They do combat, they do fight against the germs. And then finally, when the germs maybe resist, they can feel that they become weak. When they become weak, what they need? They need the support. That's why you do take what you call artificial antibodies. Those medicines you are taking, they come just to support this immunity, these white blood cells. Are you together? Nice. So, once within phagocytes, pathogens are digested by a number of what? Of hydrolytic enzymes. Thus, free the body of disease-causing germs. Phagocytes also help in removing old and dead cells as well as cancerous cells. This is very important, my friends. This is how these phagocytes, they work. They do destroy, they do digest. We're going to see how they can digest. They do digest what? The germs, the pathogens that cause diseases. And then not only that, they can even remove the old cells from the body, even the cancerous cells. Yeah. Those infectious cells can be removed by those phagocytes. You see? Our body is protected, my friends, by this immune system, by the immunity. And remember where we get the immunity. So we have innate immunity that we can get from our mothers. And then we have also, we shall see, also what you call the acquired immunity, either that we can get through vaccination and so on. So now, this diagram is showing how phagocytes are working. Phagocytes. This is the process by which the white blood cells engulf and kill pathogens, kill germs, is called phagocytosis. So, suppose this is our white blood cells. Let's take an example of this neutrophil. So, first of all, when there is this germ, we call it bacteria. It comes outside, then it gets into our body. When it reaches into our body, so we do have what you call those pistopodia. It can help these white blood cells, neutrophil, to get this bacteria, then it gets inside of the body. They pass through the membrane, then they form what you call phagosome. You see? And then finally, this is bacteria, it has been accumulated by the white blood cells. Then finally, it is going to be detached from the membrane, then it gets into the inside. What? The bacteria that's contained into this vesicle. This is what you can call it vesicle. And then this bacteria. And together, this form what you call phagosome. And then finally, this bacteria contained in the vesicle, this vesicle, is going now to combine with, there is enzymes, we call it lytic enzymes that can be produced into the cells. And then those lytic enzymes, called lysosome, they come then attach on what? On the phagosome, to form what you call phagolysosome. You see? What is the role of these enzymes? Is just to come and then break down, digest these germs, they digest these microbacteria, this bacteria. And then, once these enzymes come, you see what's happened? Oh, bacteria have been destroyed. You see? They have been destroyed here. This is what is going to happen. It is now being destroyed. After being destroyed, it has even to remove outside of the body. It has to be eliminated so that it cannot cause any problem. Either it can pass through the waste product, yeah, even feces, urine, they can be removed outside. Then they can, no, there is no harm in the body. You see? This is how phagocytes work. First of all, they do engulf. They do engulf bacteria. So they do engulf bacteria. You see, suppose this is the membrane of the white blood cells. When bacteria is coming, so here, this one is going to be accumulated here. And this one is called, it's called vesicle. And then this one, this is our bacteria, germ. And then together this set form what you call phagosomes. And then this one is going to be detached. It's going to be removed. You see? This is what you call phagosome. And then finally, there is enzymes. There is lytic enzymes that come to attach with this one. This one is what you call rhizosome. They contain lytic enzyme. This lytic enzyme, what to do? It comes just to do what? To break down this bacteria into smaller particles. And those smaller particles, they can even be absorbed in the body, inside of these white blood cells. And then they can cause any problem. Are you together? So this is how the phagocytes work. Very nice. Is it clear, my friends, students? Are you understanding this? Oh, nice. That's okay. So, we do have, as I have said, the immune system is divided. It has two components. We do have what you call innate immune system. We do have also what you call the acquired immune system. So now, what is acquired? It is called acquired immune system or adaptive immune system. It is not present at the time of birth, but acquired during one's lifetime. However, once acquired, its memory persists in the body in the form of memory cells for every long period of time. So this is what you call adaptive or acquired immune system. So this is not going to be present at the birth, but you can acquire, we can get it through the life process, either by vaccination, when you get vaccines. So that vaccine is going to help to build our immunity. That immunity is what you call adaptive or acquired immunity. We don't born with it, but we are going to get it after birth. Are you together? That is acquired immunity. Are you together? So now, we do have component of what? Of the acquired or adaptive immunity. We do have humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. So this humoral immunity is mediated by B lymphocytes, while cell-mediated immunity is achieved by T lymphocytes. My friends, those are two components of what? Of acquired immunity, which is also called adaptive immunity. So, those two components are, we have humoral immunity. This is immunity that is going to be ensured by what you call B lymphocyte. Actually, when we talk about these lymphocytes, so we do have B lymphocytes, and we do have also what you call T lymphocytes. So this B lymphocyte is there just to do what? To produce what you call antibodies. So we are going to see this. To produce what you call antibodies. So this one is what you call humoral immunity. When these antibodies are going to be used, just do what? to ensure to protect our body. So we do have also T lymphocytes. When we talk about these T lymphocytes, they do produce cells. We do have what you call helper T cells, and we do have also killer cells. Those are cells that will help to kill what? To kill infectious cells, or what you call tumors. So that's why it is called cell-mediated immunity. It is going to be achieved by T lymphocytes. So we are going to describe this in details, my friends. So those are two components of what? Of acquired immune system. We have immuno immunity, and we do have also this cell-mediated immunity. We are going to describe each of these. Is it clear? Is it understandable? Oh, that's nice. Good. So when we talk about immunoimmunity, immunoimmunity, we do have this immune response. B cells or B lymphocytes, they release what you call antibodies. That's what we have seen. Antibodies into the blood plasma or tissue fluids and lymph. So antibodies are released into the fluids. Then antibodies of B cells attack bacteria and some virus. So it involves the binding of foreign antigens into specific B cells receptor. So B cells divide mitotically and then result into what you call plasma cells. It's going to be formed. And these plasma cells will produce what you call antibody. That will help against what? The foreign antigens. Very nice. When you talk about this immunity, it's about how those cells, called B cells, B lymphocyte cells, they are going to produce antibody. So when they are going to produce antibody, and those antibodies are going to be produced in fluids like blood, plasma, like lymph, like tissue fluids. Are you together? And those ones, they are produced just to do what? To fight against what? Pathogens. Either bacteria or virus. That is present what? In the blood. Are you together? Because remember, the blood transports all material, including even the germs. But when the germs are found in the blood, immediately the B cells will produce antibody. And those antibodies, they are going to fight against what? Against bacteria. So they do attach. Those antibodies, they do attach on the what? On the antigens of what? Of the foreign pathogens. Because those pathogens, they do have what? Antigens. And then antibody is going to bind on that antigens. Then start to do what? To fight against it. So those B cells, they do divide mitotically to form what? To form what you call plasma cells that will continue to produce what? Antibodies. That will help to against what? The foreign antigens. That is immunoimmunity. So what the immunoimmunity is going to respond about? This is the generation of the immune response is involves. Just it is to activate what? When the immunoimmunity is just activated, it's going to activate this B lymphocyte. And once this B lymphocyte is activated, there is now secretion of antibodies. That's what we can have in the immunoimmunity. Not only that, we do have also this conversion of B lymphocyte into what? Plasma cells. What is the role of plasma cells? They are there just to produce antibodies. You see? So those are the main response of the immunoimmunity. It's just to activate B cells. B cells, when they are activated, they do produce antibody. Then antibodies are going to help to fight against what? The diseases. So now we have cell-mediated immune response. Cell-mediated immune response, this consists of this T lymphocyte that produce what you call T killer cells, T helper cells, and T killer cells. So T cells attack the cells that have become infected by microorganisms, mostly a virus, transplanted organs, tissues, cancer cells, cancer-causing cells. The foreign antigen is attached to specific helper T cells receptor. Helper T cells divide mitotically, resulting into what you call memory cells. And this activates other cells of the immune system. My friends, when we talk about this cell-mediated immune response, this is actually, as the name is saying, this is cell-mediated. So this, those T lymphocyte, T cells, they are the one that is going to work. What is the working of this one during this cell-mediated immune response? It's just to attack the cells that have been infected. Either those cells have been infected by virus or other pathogens, or cells that have been tumor cells that can cause cancer. We call it cancerous cells, or transplanted organs. Either, remember, when you get problem of kidney, sometimes you can get another kidney from other ones. So that's why those kidneys that have been transplanted into your body, sometimes it can be rejected by immune system. So the immune system that's going to reject that one is what you call cell-mediated immunity. So together, so this kind of immunity is just to protect our cells. The cells that have been infected, they have to be removed outside so that they cannot continue affecting the other cells. Are you together? So nice. So actually now this T cells, or T helper cells, they continue to divide. They are multiplying so that they can become what you call memory cells. When we talk about those memory cells, those are cells that can attack, that can protect the immunity once there is another presence of of those cells, of those germs that can infect the cells. So they are there just to recognize the foreign material that gets into our body. Nice. So now, how this cell-mediated immune system respond? So number one, it will do what you call recognition or binding on antigens by T lymphocyte. When we do have macrophage and neutrophil, and we do have also what we call the natural killer cells. These cells differ in the way they bind antigens. T lymphocytes recognize and bind antigens only in association with another set of protein called major histocompatibility complex proteins. So when there is cells that have been infected, so there are some antigens that found on that surface of that cell that have been infected by, actually they are infected by pathogens. So now what to do? These T lymphocytes, they do recognize and then start to bind on what? On the antigens of that germs together. That's what they do. But they are helped by what you call major histocompatibility complex proteins. So number two is T lymphocytes. There are two types. We have seen that there is what you call T helper cells and T killer cells. Those cells, they are there just to protect what? Our cells. When the cells becomes infected, it has now to be removed from the body by these T lymphocytes. Now, when those cells are now activated, this now can now protect our body. So this is what we are talking about. So T lymphocyte and macrophage, which are normally granulocytes, get transformed into cytotoxic T lymphocyte. These cytotoxic T lymphocytes, they are known as T killer cells. They do kill infectious what? Cells. We do have also secretion of cytotoxic chemicals. Those ones they are there just to what? To remove, to kill the cells that have been what? Have been infected either by viruses. We have now these cytotoxic chemicals that cause target cells destruction, as we have seen. Destruction is like killing, removing. So lastly, so is what we have seen is that to compare this humoral immunity, it is secreted into the blood fluids. While this for cellular immunity is going now to be intracellular infectious agents and cancer cells. Now, this one, humoral immunity is recognition by antigens by receptor on B lymphocyte. While this one is for what? For T lymphocyte. And then activation and proliferation of B lymphocytes form what you call plasma cells and memory cells. While this one, they do form what you call cytotoxic T killer cells, and also have memory cells. Secretion of antibody, here is secretion of cytotoxic chemicals. This is the clearance of infectious agents, then the rises of infected cancerous cells. Okay? So this one, we have already talked about that one. So this is your homework today. Also, first of all, you will describe mode of action of phagocytes. So through the explanation that you have read somewhere, through the reading in your notebook, you can explain the mode of action of phagocytes. Compare humoral and cell-mediated immunity. So you will compare. The bets you can use even the table. And then I thank you so much for attending this lesson of today. Continue reading. We shall meet by next time. Goodbye, my friends.